4 big changes in Phase 2 that may save Classic TBC. Oh my god. Okay, let's watch this video and then keep on going, okay?
When Phase 2 is finally here, and like with every new patch release, there's gonna be a huge spike in players logging back into the game to try out the new content. The thing is, Phase 2 on paper doesn't have a ton of content to offer. Besides the new raids, the new reputations, and some items to craft here and there isn't much that Overlords of Outland has to offer you.
There is nothing to do.
However, Phase 2 brings some major changes to the game that aren't that obvious and that may affect your decision on playing the game. Indeed, despite it not bringing a lot of content, Phase 2 has a lot of under the hood and not so obvious things that it fundamentally changes about Classic TBC. Things that some of you may have been hating or loving during Phase 1. So in this video, I want to briefly talk about that, because these things may potentially bring you back to the game if you took a break from it, or even get you into the game if you've never played it since its release a few months ago. So without further ado, here's 4 major differences between Phase 1 and Phase 2 in Classic TBC. Let's get into it. So first off, and probably most obviously, Phase 2 brings in a major shift in difficulty when it comes to raiding. Not only by bringing harder raids, but also...
Okay, listen, dude, I just gotta say it. Like, I wish Phase 1 was like maybe 12 months long. I love Phase 1 of TBC. I think it's probably the most fun. I wish that, like, I feel like they're getting rid of Phase 1 too soon. You know what I mean? Like, I wish we could just keep on doing Phase 1 forever, really. Like, it's been so good.
By making previous raids easier.
Yeah.
So obviously the star of the show in Phase 2 is the new raids, Serpent Shrine Cavern and Tempest Keep.
Yeah.
On paper already, this is one of the very few patches in WoW's history where we get 2 raids at once. That being said, SSC and TK only have a handful of bosses each, 6 and 4 respectively, which is significantly lower than any raids we got so far, so that balances out. But aside from the number of bosses, those 2 new raids bring a significant jump in difficulty compared to anything we've had in the past in Classic WoW and up until now. Blizzard put those raids on the public test realms for the last month, and they cranked up the difficulty quite significantly on them. And that...
What is the single hardest boss in Classic WoW or Classic TBC so far? The single hardest boss. Meg Therodon? You think so? Saffron, Meg Therodon, there's Cthulhu, there's 4 Horsemen, right? 4 Horsemen. There's like you think Saffron? Saffron, like, wasn't really that hard. It was just a consumable and gear check. Like, that's literally all it was. If your raid had the right consumes and the right gear, boom, fucking brain dead. It's not like mechanically hard.
That was clearly felt by the players. Don't get me wrong though, those are still classic raids, with just a handful of mechanics to manage. This isn't some mythic raid type of thing. If we compare them to retail, they fall somewhere between normal and heroic in terms of difficulty, where Kara and Gruul felt more like LFR difficulty. Speaking of Kara and Gruul, with Phase 2 going live, Blizzard also mentioned that Tier 4 content would be getting nerfed. They didn't mention specifically what is getting nerfed, but we can make some
Tier 5, baby. Let's go.
They're nerfing Tier 4 content today when Tier 5 comes out? Are they gonna... Okay, so this is what they did in actual TBC. They made Gruul have less HP. They changed the cube timing, so you could have... like maybe 2 groups. You could have 10 people to cubes rather than whatever it is, like fucking 20 people. It's already nerfed. We killed Meg this morning and Gruul this morning. It wasn't nerfed yet, but that was 9 hours ago or some shit.
Educated guesses and assume that Nightbane's overall raid damage will go down significantly. Mechtherodon's debuff when clicking a cube will go down from 2 minutes to probably just a minute or so, no longer requiring a perfect coordination of everyone in the raid. And Gruul will also do his jump mechanic less often. All these changes will make it so that anyone who was struggling...
Bruh, you're gonna have guilds killing Gruul without a single fucking shatter phase. Like for like, I'm in a boomer guild. We have 2 shatters. Okay, We're fucking booming.
With tier 4, we'll have a significantly easier
Holy
time
shit.
getting that done now. And finally, now that we're getting SSC and TK, this means that we're getting some actual 25-man raiding content. Because let's face it, up until now, we didn't really have any 25-man raiding nights. Gruul's Lair is a 2-boss raid. That takes about 20 minutes to clear. And McTheridan is even faster. It takes about 10 minutes given you don't wipe, of course. But now with SSC and TK entering the scene, the feeling of progressing through the raids with your 24 other guildies for a whole 2, 3 or 4 hours will finally be here, and TBC raiding will finally feel like TBC raiding. Okay, so that's for raiding, but raiding is just half the story. Phase 2 brings some other major changes that will potentially affect the way you play the game in a big way. So moving on, let's now talk about the daily content. So, daily content has been a staple of World of Warcraft since actually Burning Crusade, and it actually all started with what we're getting in Phase 2, Shatari, Skyguard, and Ogrilla. Up until now, besides doing your cooking and fishing dailies, there wasn't much incentive for you to log in every day to the game, so most people just defaulted to raid logging, literally. But with the introduction of these two new reps, this may be about to change, and the reason is simple.
Fuck these reps. I'm not doing them. Here's my thing. I'm not gonna do them. I'm not doing either of them.
Gold. There's around 70 gold to get from the dailies themselves every day with Shatari, Skyguard, and Ogrilla. And then add to that any items you may obtain along the way, and add the cooking and fishing dailies on top of that. Then when Phase 5 releases, add the...
Oh my god, but wait, I forgot. If you get exalted with the Shatari Skyguard, you can get the Nether Ray mount. Oh, wow! That changes nothing.
Isle of Caldenas dailies to the list, and you start to see where the motivation to do daily content every day comes from. We actually made a video on the channel talking about exactly that, and even more things like daily profession cooldowns to make yourself well above 200 gold per day from just spending an hour or two online every day. You can check it out up here. But besides gold, Shatari, Skyguard, and Ogrilla themselves have some rewards to offer, the most obvious one being the mount.
Remember Ogrilla? Bing bong, bing bang, bing bong, bing bong. Remember? Oh man, get ready for it. That's some real shit.
Of course. A lot of you may be stuck with griffins and wyverns and not having enough money to buy a Cenarian hippogriff or an engineering chopper. So this is the first cheap unique mount model added to the game, and it looks gorgeous. But yeah, daily content is being added to...
He's just saying that for the video. Like, literally no one thinks that mount looks good. He's being such a fucking YouTuber right now. And it's a gorgeous looking mount. Shut the Shut the fuck up.
Daily content is being added to the game in a big way starting with this patch. And daily content is what a lot of players have been enjoying in WoW since the dawn of time. A lot of you may not have had the chance to afford your epic flying mount yet, and this is an incentive by its own to come back and get that out of the way. And
dude, I actually had a crazy idea. They should make it so only Europeans can get the Nether Ray mount, and then only Americans can get the Nether Drake mount. So if you're European, you can only get the Nether Ray, and then if you're American, you can get the Nether Drake. They should do that, where it's like sort of like a regional thing. That would be badass.
And that's our second major difference coming to Classic TBC with Phase 2. To stay on the topic of gold, Phase 2 is bringing some major economic changes to the game, some that you may be able to take advantage of in a big way. We already talked about dailies, so that's one big economic change on its own. But besides that, Phase 2 introduces a ton of new ways to make gold to the game, which may help you finally afford your fast flying mount or struggle less with consumables or anything really. And the first one is the Swift Flight Form for Druids. Why is this big for making gold, you may ask? Well, simply because Druids have the option to instantly fly away with this, and more importantly, gather herbs while flying.
I dated a girl in high school for 3 years, and she played a Druid, and I was playing a Paladin, a Holy Paladin at this point. And we made a deal. Like, she really wanted Ashes of Alar, and I really wanted Anzu, you know, the ground mount that drops from the fucking, you know, epic druid shit. And so every week we would do Tempest Keep, and then every day we would do Heroic Set the Calls. And she would come and she'd summon the boss because she was on her druid, and then we'd try to. So the deal was like she would get Ashes of Alar, and then I would get Anzu. And what happened was Anzu never dropped after 3 years, and Ashes did drop, and she got Ashes. And then like 6 months later, she cheated on me, and we broke up. What a fucking what a waste. And then it was like 8 years later. Yeah, so like 7 or 8 years later, I came back to play retail WoW as Legion, and I logged in. It was my first day playing Legion, and I went and did the fucking set of the calls, and I got the mount. My first day after resubbing. Dude, do you think in retail WoW, I actually had this conspiracy theory. By the way, the same day I got Ashes, I went into set the calls, boom, I got Ashes. Or a wow, yeah. No, I got Anzu, and then I went to Tempest Keep. I got Ashes on the same fucking day. Like, check my achievements; they're the same day. Now, do you think that if they see a player who's resubbed after the first time in like a couple of years, that they just kind of throw rare mounts at them to like give them the fucking dopamine and kind of get them on the hook? Do you think they do that? That would be so smart to do that. We could test it. We could log into retail and go like, you know, kill a mount boss and see if it drops, because I haven't done anything in retail in like 2 years. We could go see it, man. We could try it.
They still have to shapeshift to their normal form to gather mining nodes, but it's barely an inconvenience since they can instantly fly off again. What this means is 1,
Cool.
druids are about to become absolute money-making machines, and also herb prices will probably drop given enough time, making it easier for everyone to afford their potions and flasks. Speaking of flasks, those are about to get way cheaper because of one small item that went under the radar. Mark of the Illidari. This drops from both SSC and TK. It's tradable and sellable on the auction house, and it allows anyone with it to buy a flask of their choice from a vendor in Chatrat. Give it enough time and these will drop to ridiculously low amounts of gold on the
I actually forgot about this. Holy shit. I remember Marks of the Illidari being like, these things just drop left and right. Like Marks just drop so often.
auction house, and your raiding bill
I feel like I only remember them dropping in Black Temple though. Are we sure that these drop in tier 5? I swear this was some Black Temple shit, bro. It was some Black Temple shit.
will shrink as a side effect. Now keep in mind the flasks you buy with these only work in tier 5 content and beyond, but this will definitely also affect the prices
They
of
didn't on
normal
PTR?
flasks
Okay,
too,
makes sense.
so you'll also be able to afford these for cheap for tier 4 content. One more thing that will affect the economy coming with Phase 2 is the new arrows and bullets made with engineering. Those will be selling like
Dude, if the marks are in, you will have 25-man bot raids. It'll be 25 bots in Tempest Keep or SSC farming trash 24 hours a day just to get the marks to sell them on the auction house. Genius. That's the new bot farm.
absolute candy left and right because there's tons of hunters that want these and none of them have engineering. So if you have engineering, you can very easily get the recipe for these from either the vendor in Shatrat for the bullets or by killing some mobs in Netherstorm for the arrows and rake in a ton of gold, especially early on. And finally, obviously with Phase 2 comes in a ton of new gear recipes. A lot of them are best in slot and a lot of them will be highly sought after all throughout the expansion. But yeah, as you can see from all the things mentioned here, Phase 2 is gonna boost the Classic TBC economy in a big way, and everyone, no matter what their class or spec is, can take advantage of this and finally be able to afford what they want. So that's our third major difference between Phase 1 and Phase 2. But for now, let's move on to the last one, and that is some major PvP changes coming with Phase 2. So
What's
PvP
happening?
has been hit or miss for a lot of people, and to be fair, it's always been like that in WoW. But with Classic, and Classic TBC's Phase 1 in particular, it's
This guy's out here auto-attacking with the succubus. They're doing it.
wow. But with Classic, and Classic TBC's Phase 1 in particular, it's always felt more miss than hit, really. But it's all about to change, and even if you've never been really into PvP, this might motivate you to give it a try. So first off, and probably most importantly, Blizzard announced that same faction battlegrounds are here and they're staying until the end of the expansion at least.
I didn't even see that, wow.
A lot of players have been unhappy with Blizzard's decision to go the lazy way about the faction imbalance problem affecting queue times and BGs and just allow players of the same faction to just fight each other. But Blizzard isn't having it and they're just implementing this anyway. Fair enough, despite the obvious fact that you'll now be fighting players of your own faction in Battlegrounds most likely, this also means that now, queues are gonna be significantly easier for the Horde and mostly unaffected for the Alliance. This has been a major issue since Classic really. Horde always had upwards of hours of queues, and this should motivate everyone to queue back into BGs and enjoy PvP again. Also, another incentive for doing PvP coming with Phase 2.
The problem is, with Arena Season 2, are there any new honor rewards at all? Is there, like, what's the point to do BGs in Phase 2? Because I think anyone that really cared about Arena, they probably... There's new offsets? Okay, so you need to get the new offsets, okay. As far as the actual sets... You never need to farm honor for those anymore, because I think with Phase 2 they are adding, he might even say this, I think they're adding the rep items now, like the PvP rep items. So I guess the only reason to do BGs, other than for fun, is to get the offsets, yeah.
Is the fact that there's some big PvP items added with this phase. And I'm not just talking about arena gear. There's PvP off pieces that you can buy with honor, which are BIS for some specs in PvE. That's right, some of you will have to do BGs if you want to compete in PvE. Thankfully, with the first change we talked about, this should be significantly easier. Also, coming with Phase 2 is the PvP faction gear. This is some starter PvP gear that will boost your performance in Arena and Battlegrounds significantly if you don't have any resilience pieces laying around. And this should incentivize a lot of you to get into PvP. And obviously, Phase 2 also introduces Season 2 with its whole set of PvP rewards that are gonna be super strong even in PvP for a lot of you. That being said, the rating requirements for...
Dude, like, here's the thing. Ain't no one got time to grind arena points like you. I think they should just give every streamer the free gladiator. Like, I think if you're a streamer, they should just give you a gladiator mount and just give you a gladiator title. Because like who, like, no one's got time to, like, actually, you know, practice and get good and, like, fucking, like, queue arena. Like, that's a lot of bullshit you gotta do. Like, I don't know, man.
A lot of those pieces are still quite high for most players, but now that Blizzard added the Arena Bulletin Board to Shatterat, you can clearly see how hard you need to push to get your rating higher and be able to afford those pieces. But that's the last major difference coming with Overlords of Outland. As I said earlier, Phase 2 doesn't have a lot of content on paper, and unfortunately, a lot of players will log in, find out that there isn't much to do, and then just log out. But under the hood, this patch has a ton of great stuff that makes the game better for pretty much everyone, and I'm super excited for it.
Let me ask you this. Be honest, okay? You know what? No. We're gonna do a straw poll, okay? Because I can't trust you guys in chat. You guys in chat are gonna lie because you're all scared. Let me do this. Would you buy Glad Mount for $200? If they were selling Armored Nether Drakes on an in-game shop, on an in-game cash shop, would you buy it for $200? Yes or no? Be honest. Don't fucking lie. It's anonymous. I wouldn't. It wouldn't mean anything. At that point, it doesn't mean anything. Let me see. Oh, wow. 38. 42 of my most shameless viewers. I mean, hey, it looks cool. It's a cool looking mount. It's just that at that point, it doesn't mean anything, right? Completely worthless. Well, no, it has a worth. The worth is $200. Where's the video? There it is.
Myself. But what do you guys think? Do you think these changes I mentioned will make the game better? Or do you think this isn't gonna affect the game nearly as much as to bring players back? Let us know in the comments. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed.
People pay for carries. You see this weird phenomenon where people will buy carries, like they'll buy arena carries and then try to lie about it. And it's like, dude, everyone knows. Like, literally Everyone knows. It's so obvious. It's so fucking blatantly obvious if someone has purchased an arena carry or a mythic plus carry or in retail, you know, a mythic kill or whatever. It's so fucking obvious. So it's like why like I'm gonna be honest, bro. Hey, if it's arena season 3 and I can find someone to carry me, like if I'm just getting blown the fuck out and I'm dog shit, like that's how badly I want like I really would like to have the season 3 Nether Drake. If I had 2 rank 1 players say, hey, Staysafe, we're down to carry you, I would say, you know what? I would say, fuck yeah. Like I don't. Listen, dude, I have shattered my own ego. Okay, my World of Warcraft PvP ego. I don't care about people thinking I'm good. I don't care about people. You know, I don't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In fact, if I got Glad legit, people would say I got carried anyway. People would say Kramer carried me. People would say that Webben carried me. Whatever, bro. Like, it doesn't matter what I do. People are going to say that I'm getting carried anyway. So why not just actually get fucking carried? Why not just get carried and get the fucking mount and then flex on them, bro?
Enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to give it a like and subscribe to the Classic WoW Curios channel for more content like this. I will see you guys in the next one very soon. Bye for now.
Bye for now.